That was just to make sure you knew we were coming on. So nice. It's on a Monday, and yes, it's my anniversary. Woo woo, 25 years, and we're still celebrating. So it won't be a long show today, but it'll be a show because Dream Done must go on from process to progress. Girls, your favorite girls on a Monday. What is the how-to coach Tamara Hartley, the Serena Brown Travis is actually doing Pulpa Chick business. So she is not live with us today. And myself, Dr. Stacey NC Grant, Chief Faithpreneur. Thank you for tuning in, being a part of our show, season 3. Woo, woo. And thank you, my brother. Yes, still celebrating and feeling my age, hanging out with. But it is a day to give thanks. We're closing out the month of March, Women's History Month, all of the wonderful things that we contribute to the world shouldn't just be celebrated in a month. Can we go there? But we'll take it and we'll celebrate it and add the value that we add in the world. So I'm going to turn it over to my co-host, Tamara Hartley, so she can greet you as well.
So first, happy silver anniversary, my sister. It's always so exciting. It's been a kind of a crazy week. So, when we talk on the show about real life happening, it really does. And so you kind of see us in the midst of real life. Sister Serena, yes, she is dealing with, okay, when we talk about pulpit chick responsibilities, it's Holy Week. So you already know what that means for the pulpit chick. So we give her all of our love today as she is not with us, but here in spirit. We'll giggle for her a few times. But again, just happy to be here and happy to be where we are. Just look at it. We're in the last Monday in March. We are putting these time frames to rest very quickly. We were just opening up the show in January and already it's the end of March already. So here we are checking our progress.
Here we are. I can't believe it. Like, it's all of a sudden the first quarter is almost done. Like, what in the world? How
Yes.
did we get here? But we're here and we've been going through different topics focusing on one of the tools that we've created with you, which is your journal. And you can go to dreamsyou'vedone.com to get it, and it'll click you right on through to our Amazon page where you can purchase the book and just open it up, right? You can look inside on Amazon. Isn't that wonderful that you could actually see what's in here, get a taste about how we lay out the book, set your intentions, do your reflections. So, that's just a little taste of what happens. But today we want to focus on the check your progress, because we included the check your progress for a reason. It gives you a chance to really just look at how far you're going, what it is that you're doing, and how you can track and trace what's working for you and things that you might need to adjust or shift in order to get a different result. So, my sister, I will read the first part and then you can go into the questions. So, we want you to check your progress as we are closing out this first quarter of 2020. So, it says it's always a good practice to review your progress. Take a few moments to reflect on your daily actions. Analyze what's working and identify areas where you need to make adjustments and or changes. If you like what you're doing and making progress, keep up the good work, but continue to challenge yourself to move to new levels of action and productivity. If you're feeling burnt out, change up your routine, do something new, but stay in action and don't stop your momentum. That's our story, and we're sticking to it. So there's some questions along the way that we ask because the evaluation is important. I'm guilty of a certain part of my personality that I had to really intentionally work on, the ignoring, right? Because ignoring doesn't make anything go away. You still have to deal with it. My girlfriend had a dog that was just hilarious. We were like, this dog is crazy. She would try to hide like in the middle of the floor, like we can't see her. She just put her head down. I'm like, what? You think we can't see you? Like, so there's certain things in our life that we just can't avoid and think it'll go away. Evaluation allows you to say, okay, well, where am I? If it's working, let's turn up the volume. If it's not working, let's make some adjustments. So, my dear co-host Ann Sorod, go ahead and tell us these other questions here that we're asking you to ponder in your Dream Do Done journal.
And absolutely. But one of the things I wanted to say first, this is such a critical part. And you shared your transparency. A lot of times we just keep tumbling through and pummeling through and trying to get to the end. And we never really stop to see if what we're doing is effective. And you don't want to get to the end of something or end of a project and look back and say, oh, wow, I should have adjusted this. I should have made a difference here. And that's one of the things, like, we were very thoughtful in this process. And so every few weeks and think about it on a quarterly basis, even though there's no dates in this book, think about it on a quarterly basis. You need to stop and look at what you're doing. One, it gives you an opportunity to celebrate what you've done and what's working, but it also gives you an opportunity to really evaluate what you're doing. And a lot of time that's the step that we miss. We don't look and say, hey, you know what? I tried this, but it really didn't work. That wasn't effective, or that no longer serves me. This is your opportunity in the Dream Do Done journal to actually say that and to really look at what you're doing to make sure that it's working. Because again, it's okay if you have to change it. It's actually looking at it that lets you know if you need to do that or not. So here are some of the questions we asked you to look at. How are you feeling about your progress thus far? How are you feeling? What's up? Talk to yourself. How are you feeling? Sometimes we don't take that internal check. How are you feeling? And you can, here's my transparency. So I get caught in action. So as long as I'm moving sometimes, I'm moving, I'm grooving, but then sometimes I have to look at that action. Someone did an analogy some time ago, and I can't remember who to give credit for, but I took it and made it my own and put some other stuff in it. But it's like if you're on a bus and you find out you're going the wrong way, do you just stay on the bus until the end and get off, or do you get off when you recognize that you're going the wrong way? And for many of us, there's many reasons why we actually really stay on the bus. Well, I just got on. Everybody just saw me get on. I don't want to look crazy by getting right back off. I mean, we have all kind of things. You get comfortable in your seat. Ooh, if I move, somebody's going to get this seat. I don't want them to get the seat. Just crazy stuff we tell ourselves. But the reality is, if you find out you're going the wrong way, even in your weekly action, you get off the bus. You make some changes. So how do you feel? How do you feel about the progress? What adjustments do you need to make? Are there any, this is important. Are there any triggers or distractions that you find that you have? If one of your goals this week was about a timetable or time management, did you have any distractions? Anything that came out that you noticed was a pattern? Any distractions that you have discovered that are interfering with your productivity? If so, what are they and how can you minimize or eliminate them altogether? And then finally, just another place for you to put other notes and observations, other things you saw as you look back over the past few weeks. And you can flip through your book, go back, look at what you did. Did you do what you set out to do? Did you do some extra stuff? Were you able to get extra things done? This is where you evaluate yourself, and then you actually give yourself a productivity rating. And
I
that's
love that.
really important. A productivity rating. How did you do? Rate yourself. And one of the things that everyone, if it's 1 through 5, everyone's looking for a 5. Be honest with yourself. No one's looking in this book but you and us. Maybe if you get into one of our masterminds, we might help you review and do some things. But the reality is you have to learn to be honest with yourself. If you were a 3, next evaluation, you want to shoot to be a 3 or a 4. You just want to keep going and keep, like Stacy said, turning it up, going the extra mile, doing something different, and going to a new level.
It's huge. Like every time I go through our journal, I get excited. I'm like, this is good stuff, people. Like, when you use it, and even the rating, right? Your average productivity rating. So it's not just the productivity rating. We're saying average. So you have to look at the sum total of what's happened through the quarter. Because you
Yes.
might have had a high rating for 1 month, a lower rating for another, and then somewhere in the middle. So look at the sum of the average and don't get caught up in the distractions that you discover that are interfering, and just figure out more ways to eliminate or minimize the things that are not moving you forward to your goal. This whole show is about from process to progress,
Yes.
right? Dream, do, done. You have to start somewhere. You start with the dream, but there has to be some action to get you to the point where you celebrate what you've completed and what you've done. So the check your progress page is critical in your journey through the book. And we made it so that you can customize it to
Mhm.
your experience and the way you track how you do what you do without it being a heavy lift. I think that's the best thing. We had to incorporate all three of our personalities and the way that we are activated to do the things that we are doing. So it had to have a little bit that I can jam with, a little bit that Sarita could, a little bit that Tamara. So this is a culmination of how we've been able to find the productivity in the various things that we do. And we are excited about those of you who keep sending us messages. I think I got another DM the other day, somebody else who ordered, and they were like, yo, this journal's hot. I was like, I know, right, girl? Tell somebody.
And look, and so just so you know, when it talks about the average productivity rating, it's because every week there's a place for you to rate the week. And so that comes along your journey. So you're not just making up a number here. You're actually looking back over the last few weeks and looking at the rating that you gave yourself inside the journal. So, and then after the check your progress, there are some blank note pages. And those to me are planning pages. They're vision pages. They are idea pages. After you look at what you've done, where you are, what you want to do for next week, you need to plan that out before you actually get to that next week. And I think that's what's really important as well. And those are some of the steps that we miss. We just like keep going, going, going. I told you how I went from bachelor's to master's and didn't even celebrate. I didn't even go to the one of the graduations. Like we have to stop and celebrate along the way. So this is a time for you to reflect on that, to pat yourself on the back, to give yourself some rah-rahs that I made it through this quarter. Even if you have some things you need to adjust and change, still celebrate that you've been in action for these last few weeks and that you are making progress and see yourself moving toward that goal.
Absolutely. And that's truly, oh, here's Bashani. She said, I love it. And we love you. And thank you for the support and just the usefulness of it. That's the best
Yes.
way to compliment anybody that shares information and knowledge with you. Use it. Do something
Yeah.
with it. Shine. We want to see everyone win and know that we had a part to play in cheering you down to the finish line of whatever your success quadrants are, because I don't believe that you get to just one place and it's all done. That's when you go home to glory, if that's what you believe, right? And that's what I believe. I'm waiting for my street to go, but I'm gonna celebrate each success quadrant along the way and share the learning so that those who come after are able to grasp it. So this is some good stuff. I
Right.
mean,
And look, we even put thought into the way the pages are, the kind of paging that we selected. This is for you to write in, scribble in, scratch up, put some happy faces, some little teardrops if you're sad about it. Like this is really made for you to use as you would use your own personal journal. This is not to be pretty and I don't want to crease the pages. I don't want no crack the spine working in this journal.
you see how
This
my
is what
fingerprints
we
all
want.
over it?
Write in it, circle it, highlight so that you know that you're actually moving through this process and you're really understanding where you are, what you're doing, and that you really can see what you need to do next.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's our goal as we go through this process with you. You have the options of enrolling and setting up for our mastermind classes. You can purchase a book, and there are other things that we'll be coming out with that will help you move forward and really just celebrate the fact that we're still here. I mean,
Yeah.
I just got news this morning, and I'm still in shock. I think I haven't really processed it yet that somebody else is transitioned. I'm like, it's just too much, too much, too much. It's
Yeah.
it's just every day there's some other news, and what it's reminding us of, life is a gift. We don't know from day to day, moment to moment, so we have to make the best of it while we're here, and to leave our mark, so that when that time does come, because it eventually will, that you would have left your legacy, you would have left your mark, you would have played full out, and there's nothing that you would have as regrets if you look back
Right.
on your life. So that's
Absolutely.
ultimately just what rings true to me. As I was talking to another friend of mine who reached out and said a year ago he was battling through COVID. We were praying day in and day out that he would make it through. And literally, it's a year that he's back, and it's taken a long time to fight through that recovery. And so many other people don't have his story. So
Yeah.
it's a reminder that we have to do our part every single day and take every single precious moment as a gift and unwrap it carefully. So,
Absolutely. And I was just going to say too, and not only do you want to get your dreams and your ideas out of you, there are just people who need you. There are people who are waiting for you, waiting for that thought, waiting for your dream do done journal, all of those things, people who need you. And so at the grand in the grand scheme of things, that's why we're here to help and so serve others. So there are people who are waiting on you. That should give you a sense of urgency as well. How dare you keep these people waiting?
That's right. You literally could save somebody's life. So
Absolutely.
let's get it. Well, I thank you for joining in. I'm going off to get ready to celebrate the rest of my anniversary. So, but the show must go on, and we thank you for tuning in. My sister Tamara will close us out today. Rashonda, Jason, thank you for tuning in. Those who catch the replay, those who are always here, letting us know that this is valuable to you. It's a reminder. Some of the things you already know, but you needed somebody else to just remind and confirm, as our pulpit chick's daddy would say, there's greatness in you. All right, everyone. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much. I plan to, child. I plan to cut up. My kids got an attitude. We're like deuces. We
Deuces. Congratulations again. Enjoy, my sister. And make sure you all stay close to our website, dreamdodone.com. Make sure you get on the waiting list for that next masterclass. It is going to be fire. And there, we are not lying about that. You already know this content that we give you every Monday. You can imagine what it's like working with all three of us on your goals and getting that stuff done. So make sure you sign up to be in one of our next master classes. We would love to help you personally and do more than we can do on a Monday and really see you get this thing done. So make sure you stay to the website, dreamdodone.com.
Bye-bye.